In June 1972, a woman appeared at Cedars-Sinai Hospital wearing only a white gown covered in blood. Now this is not too surprising because people often have accidents near the hospital, and come to the nearest hospital for medical treatment. But there were two things that caused the people who saw her to vomit, and flee in fright. The first, is that she's not really human. She resembled something close to a mannequin, but had more dexterity and fluidity than a normal human. Her face, as perfect as a mannequin's, was browless, and smeared with makeup. That's the reason others who vomit or run away in fear. There was a kitten caught in her jaw, so naturally her teeth wouldn't show, and fresh blood was still running down her dress and then falling to the floor. She then pulled the kitten out of its mouth, threw it aside, and fell. From the moment she stepped through the entrance, to when she was brought into a hospital room and cleaned before a sedative was prepared, she was completely calm, expressionless and unmoving. The doctors thought it best to keep her in custody until the authorities arrived, and she didn't protest. They weren't able to elicit any sort of response from her, and the staff members didn't feel too comfortable looking directly at her for more than a few seconds. But both staff tried to stay calm, as she struggled back up with extreme force. The two staff members had to continue to hold her body down as her body rose on the bed with an equally blank expression. She turned around, showed emotionless eyes at the male doctor, and did something unusual. She smiled. As she did, the female doctor screamed, and went outside in shock. In the woman's mouth were not human teeth, but long, like spikes. It took too long for its mouth to close completely without causing any damage. The male doctor stared back at her for a moment before asking, "What the heck are you?" She cracked her neck, then dropped to her shoulders to study the doctor, still smiling. There was a long pause. The security guards had been alerted it could be heard coming down the halls. When she heard the security guards were approaching, she darted forward, sank her front teeth into the doctor's throat, tore the jugular out, and let her fall to the floor, gasping as she choked on her own blood. The creature stood up, and leaned over her, with a face that looked as if the life was fading from its eyes. She came closer and whispered in the doctor's ear, "I am God." The doctor's eyes filled with fear as she watched the creature calmly walk away to greet the security guards. The last sight she ever saw was her celebration at them one by one. The female doctor who survived the incident named her, the Expressionless.